All right, YouTube, so we're back again today to talk about relationships.
Relationships are messy and people's feelings get hurt.
You might be having issues in your relationship, or maybe you're not, and you just want to work on your relationship skills. Either way, I got you covered.
Let's see what you got.
Stay tuned today on this video on this channel as we talk about 5 behaviors that can ruin your relationship. What is going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Faith Like That. We are a Christian ministry that is dedicated to helping you live a clean life for Christ and to live that life abundantly. Please take a moment and subscribe to our channel. We would greatly appreciate it, and it would help us get this information out to more people. And we're always dropping some great content about how you can grow in your level of faith and in your relationships and in your life. All right, YouTube, but once again today on this video, we're talking about relationships. Now, if you haven't heard me say it already and you don't know it already, relationships are work.
Everyone told us and told us and told us marriage is hard work.
Marriage is work. It's not easy. There's some sacrifice. There's some compromise. There's some conversations and communication you really need to work on and make sure you're good at. You need to raise the level of your IQ or your emotional intelligence to make sure that you're there for your partner and they're there for you, and you can communicate and work through challenges or difficult times that you may have. And that is work, right? So today I want to focus on this video 5 behaviors that come up in relationships that will negatively impact your relationship. We're going to talk about these because we want to make sure that we can recognize them if they're starting to happen and discuss them so we can overcome them or we can prevent them entirely. So you ready? We got 5. Let's do it. All right, so the first behavior in relationships that we want to avoid is not listening. All right, so this is a big one. And it's generally one that we hear as it relates to men not listening, which a lot of times we don't listen. And it is a very hurtful thing when you don't feel heard by someone else, especially when you have feelings for them and you're supposed to be in a relationship and be in love. Fellas, we gotta listen, and we gotta make sure we're listening better. Also, ladies, I wanna help you out here. Knowing that men have struggles listening, ensure that as you speak to him, he is not distracted. If he's doing other things, watching this, multitasking in this way, then he's probably not hearing everything you said. That people in general feel like they can multitask, and it's a skill, but it's a skill that very few people are really good at and can do effectively. So make sure if you're going to speak to him that this is clearly a conversation you're having and he is listening to you, and maybe do some speaker listener technique responses to say, hey, what did you hear me say just now? So you can verify they actually heard everything you said, especially when it's important. Now, man or woman, husband or wife, whichever one you are, if you are having an issue listening, you need to make sure that you make it clear when you did and did not hear things, or if you were not listening. So don't try to multitask or be in something else and not listen, because it will be hurtful and it will cause problems in your marriage. So that behavior of not being attentive is an issue. We want to prevent that behavior.
Now I want every ditty bop off, and I want you to listen to me.
All right, the second behavior that we want to avoid in our relationships and marriages is ignoring the needs of your spouse or your partner. We all have needs that need to get met, right?
I have needs.
And a lot of times, or maybe even just sometimes, we have issues or trouble communicating those needs. But some needs we always do communicate, while others don't get communicated. But as you being in this relationship and you caring about this person, that the task is given to you to make sure that you're talking with them to discover what needs they have that need to be met, right? And you're even asking them that so they can tell you the ones they know about, and others you might just have to discern and watch for. But if you're not watching for them, if you're not asking them about them, if you don't even know what they are, then quite surely their needs are not getting met. And it's going to make for a bad, I guess, experience in this relationship or marriage in itself. So you need to make sure that you're setting aside time to not only know what the needs are of your partner, but make sure those needs are getting met.
Look, I have needs and you're blocking those needs right now.
The third behavior that you want to avoid in your relationship or your marriage is not fully resolving conflict. Look, I promise you that when something happens and someone seems upset, if they say it's fine, it's not fine.
I'm not fine at all.
If they say don't worry about it, you still need to worry about it. Do not let them tuck this in and just cover it up and not talk about the conflict or the issue. Maybe don't force them to talk about it right then, but make sure you set a time and say, hey, look, I recognize you don't want to talk about this right now. That's okay. So can we maybe circle back to this in a few days or next week and talk about the issue here so I can make sure your needs are met and you feel supported? Because if you leave it unresolved, it's just going to build up and build up and build up. And then one day there's going to be a blow up either for you or for them. And you're going to wonder why. How do we even get here? And it's because we've been doing the work of building this wall in between us. And now the wall's in the way and we had to break through it. And the anger and the rage and the hurt is so great that we do and say things and we get to a space that we never really want to be and we feel terrible for going there. So to make sure we don't get there, do not allow conflict to remain unresolved.
Your friend obviously has some unresolved
Robert!
The fourth behavior that we want to avoid in marriage and relationships are assumptions. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, this is what I was taught. That when you assume, you make a fool. They didn't say fool, though. I'm not going to say that word. This is a Christian channel. But you make a fool out of you and me. Because you assumed what was going on instead of just making sure that you had an understanding and you asked. So, don't assume things. That there are some healthy assumptions that, okay, she said take out the trash. Maybe she assumes all the trash in the house and not just the trash in the kitchen. Yeah, maybe that's a safe assumption. But most assumptions aren't that safe. So if you're not sure, don't assume, ask.
Why don't you just ask me?
This may feel annoying to you or even to your spouse or partner initially or at the beginning. But over time, it will only lead to greater understanding of each other, to where you won't have to ask because you have an understanding of who they are, how they communicate, and what they want or need. So when they say things to you, there isn't any gray area or confusion about what they're saying because you understand them. So now the understanding helps you to not assume things.
Why do you assume you're the smartest in the room?
All right, so the fifth and final behavior you want to avoid is bringing up past mistakes or hurt. Look, what's in the past is in the past. So when it happens, make sure you deal with the conflict. We already talked about this. Even if we can't deal with it right then because our feelings aren't in a space where we can and we're going to behave in a way that's not healthy, then okay, that's great. Always set a time to circle back to it and deal with it, because you leave it unresolved and then later you weaponize it to bring it back up. And what you did in the past, especially if it was already handled or dealt with, don't bring it up again. It shouldn't be weaponized. We should be fighting fair with each other. We should be discussing things and handling conflict like we love each other, not like we're fighting and trying to hurt each other. So don't weaponize past things. Don't bring up past things that may be hurtful now to keep bringing up or to not let go of. Deal with them and let them go.
This is getting really ridiculous, Charlie, so just let it go.
Now, if you're going to bring up past things, that it should be in a healthy way, in a way that's fair, that you all have talked about in your expectations of how we work through conflict. But it's not going to help you to not resolve it and then bring it up later to use it as a weapon. So thank you for coming and spending some time with me today as we talked about 5 behaviors that you want to avoid or prevent in your relationship or your marriage. Again, relationships are hard. I hope these tips are helpful to you. Please try them. If you have questions about them, hit us in the comments, reach out to us, and we can elaborate more, maybe give you some more resources. We want to be there to add value and help. Again, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you know when our videos are coming out. We want to add value to you, your level of faith, and to your life and family. And we can do that by subscribing, and it would help us out to continue to grow this ministry. If you're still here, I feel like you liked the video. Go ahead and smash that like button. And until next time, have faith, be safe, and we'll see you soon.